want to use the crucible room image to remind us of our main theme and explain why it is relevant. Only if we have the ability to tolerate frustration can we be in contact with the uncomfortable metals that reality brings. The no breasts, the no thing, not knowing, the unknown, the truth. Only if we have this capacity can we sit without memory or desire and grow from it. Only then what Bion calls alpha function can start to work and modify. The popcorn can swell and explode into insights. All this can only happen if there is the capacity to tolerate frustration. If not, other things happen, but what does not happen is the ability to be in contact with the unknown, the truth, and with what Bion calls true growth. Other things can grow. Stories about ourselves, defense mechanisms, disconnections, hallucinations, different things will grow, but not the core. The core implies the ability to remain with the discomfort inherent in reality, with the discomfort that reality brings, with the difference between the expectation and what is actually happening. If there is no capacity to tolerate this difference and stay with it and allow deep processes to process the difference, modify it, there is no growth. There is no growth related to the nucleus. Bion often used formulas in an attempt to explain deep mental terms. He presented two equations for this. One equation he calls in F, and the other in H. In F is to say, in frustration, if the ability to tolerate frustration exists. In contrast, in H, in hallucinosis, represents the situation where there is no capacity to tolerate frustration. From Bion's point of view, in this situation, you enter a world of hallucination, not in contact with reality, but with a narrative veil. Then Bion writes, in F, 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 equals minus 4. It takes time to decipher Bion's formulas, and I'm going to explain it. Don't worry. On the contrary, in H, in hallucinosis, in the world of hallucination, of the inability to tolerate frustration and the lack of contact with reality, in H, 1 plus 0 equals 1. It appears to be the correct formula, but what is Bion referring to? Bion says there's a breast, an experience of adaptation to preconception, which is marked with 1, and then there's discrepancy, absence or access, frustration, the no breast, which is marked with 0. There's 1, and then there's 0. There's an experience. There's 1, and then there's 0. There's an experience of breast, and then it disappears. Let's now say 4 times. If one has the ability to tolerate frustration in F, the result will be minus 4. That is, the mind can consume and be in contact with those 4 faults. The 4 times that there was 0, that there was frustration, can be calculated by the mind. This is the first formula. Conversely, in H, in hallucinosis, 1 plus 0 equals 1. That is, there was something and then it did not exist. Something was missing. There was a breast experience and then the breast disappeared. 1 plus 0 equals 1 means that the mind is not capable of tolerating frustration and does not know how to consume or be in contact with missing something. There was anguish, but the mind tells itself a story. I never lacked anything. 1 plus 0 equals 1. It is a mentally defensive narrative. I think it can also be written 1 plus 0 equals 0. I think there are actually 2 possible versions. One who cannot tolerate frustration and says in an idealization, I never lacked anything, I never suffered from anguish. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Or they can say, I never received anything. there was nothing good in my life. 1 plus 0 equals 0. Both formulas speak of a mind that is not capable of tolerating frustration. It cannot be creased. You can't say something was missing. It hurt me. It doesn't attest to everything, but there was damage. It's like a crease in the tin. It is very parallel to the Kleinian positions, the paranoid schizoid position and the depressive position. I talked about them in another context. If someone is in the paranoid schizoid position, it is like the hallucinosis formula. They cannot tolerate the frustration that reality implies. The equations are very simple, defensive, and one-dimensional. Contrary to someone who is in a depressive position and can tolerate frustration, it is as if the elasticity of their mind allows them to tolerate that in reality there's also incompleteness, there's disappointment, there's frustration, there's absence, there's ambivalence, there's a lack of adaptation. There is no perfect container.